No, I'm totally open-minded.
Okay.
Is there something you want me to open my mind to in particular?
Most specifically, no. I mean, I spent some time.
Why do you say I'm closed-minded?
Well, because
have you read my blog?
I have not.
Okay.
I'd like your blog address.
Okay, it's althouse.blogspot.com.
Althous?
Correct.
.blogspot.com?
Yep.
Okay, I'll check it out. But for the past 2 weeks, there have been signs posted at the north and south entrance coming into here saying protest must protest must be confined to the ground floor rotunda.
Okay.
Now,
where were those signs? The signs that were outside on an easel?
They were inside.
Right, I remember those.
Right
okay.
Here. Now, would I not be allowed to protest on the second floor?
I don't know. It seems like you can. Go ahead, try it. He's protesting.
Well, I mean, police came up to me and told me I couldn't be up there.
Today?
No, this was when the signs were up. Yeah.
Oh well.
And I said, I'm pretty sure I'm allowed. This is public space. I'm allowed to assemble anywhere that's public space.
Okay. I have no authority to say
I was asking,
but are you asking my opinion or something? You say I'm closed-minded.
Okay. Like you were asking his opinion.
Okay. Okay.
Like
I don't have a team of lawyers. You have to realize.
Right.
So my opinion is.
But so you're not a lawyer?
What?
We're all entitled to opinions.
Oh, of course, we're all entitled to opinions.
Well, in the same reason I could ask, I could say it's probably not against the law to go 55 in a 55-mile-an-hour zone. Right. That sounds like that's within the law, as I understand it. Yeah. You're within your understanding of the First Amendment. Even if there's a sign posted, you can't protest on the second floor. Do you think that you still should be allowed to protest on the second floor?
Allowed by what? The Constitution?
The Constitution, yeah.
I'd have to look at the Wisconsin State Constitution. Have you read it?
Constitution.
And yes, I have no. Oh, okay.
But I think our right to assemble is the authority is provided by the national Constitution. And anything that was Wisconsin State Constitution that is more strict about the right to assemble and petition your government would be superseded by the national Constitution. So are you?
Oh no! Why do you say that? Because the U.S. Constitution has limited, specified powers, and it gives certain rights in the Bill of Rights. Correct?
Right.
Okay. What's not listed? What is not enumerated in the United States Constitution is left to the power of the states.
Right.
That's in the U.S. Constitution.
Sure.
Okay.
So the right to assemble and petition your government is specifically.
I don't see how, if for some reason, for safety reasons or something,
what he's doing.
I don't know. It doesn't look unsafe to me, but if it is, I think it's reasonable that whoever has authority in maintaining security and peace safety in this building could say, look, we've got to cut that out because there's 100 people on their stupid little...
well, he's done that for mobility reasons.
I don't care. I still find them dorky.
Okay, wheelchairs are dorky also.
No, wheelchairs aren't.
I mean,
but I find those...
He's done that for a medical mobility reason.
Okay, I don't believe that, but okay.
Okay.
I just don't.
Okay.
I mean...
regardless.
Yeah.
So what if the person who has that authority to decide this is an unsafe number, this isn't, what if they are the people what if they are the government that you are petitioning, that you are addressing your grievances to?
Well, then there's the courts, and you can go to the courts and petition the courts.
So your right to assemble is supposed to be, you're supposed to give that up.
No, you're not supposed to give it up.
Exactly.
You're not supposed to give it up.
Perfect.
But here's the thing. There are rules and there are laws, okay, and those are written by, democratically by the assembly.
What happens when the rules and the laws are being broken?
Then they're being broken.
Right.
Okay.
Put them in check.
So what if
you put them in check? That's what the checks of the the Republican form of government, the legislature, the executive, and the judicial. That's what those are for. Checks and balances.
So you think that there should be a separation between the executive and the legislature?
A separation? Sure, absolutely.
So there shouldn't be closed meetings between the two that aren't on public record.
I think there are some laws about that. Collude? Well, no, they shouldn't collude.
And that's what open meeting laws are supposed to address.
Well, maybe what they're supposed to address. I haven't looked at those specific laws, but now what I've heard, what I've read about, is that I think maybe what you're trying to get to, those laws, those rules have not been violated. But it's in the court.
The courts are saying that they
No, the courts aren't saying it. One judge in Dane County said so. Okay, you know how the courts work?
Which is the check.
Okay, tell me.
Which is the only check that we have for the time being. Now then it gets appealed.
It gets appealed.
So right now, for the time being, the courts are saying,
there you go. What are you complaining about?
Because right now the court has said you're in violation and nothing's been, and we're still, Capitol's still closed.
The court says it's open. It is open. The Capitol is completely open.
Have you been in the Capitol
every day
before January 28th?
Every day.
Before January 28th?
Before January 28th, there were no security checkpoints.
I've been here.
In every single door.
When you walk.
Well, you know what else? Before January 28th, 10,000s of people did not storm into this building and occupy it illegally.
You have
so
the right.
You know,
wait. You have the right.
No, that was not peaceful.
That
was not peaceful assembly.
Were you in here?
I was in here. I was here every day since the first day of the protest.
Define a moment.
It was not peaceful.
Define a moment that you would consider not.
The chanting, the drumming, the intimidation.
How are those not peaceful?
Okay, you tell me. You're talking about the First Amendment, right?
Yep.
Freedom of expression, freedom to dissent. Would you agree?
You have the freedom.
That's the freedom to dissent.
You have the freedom to disagree.
Free expression.
You have
free
the freedom
speech.
to say. You have the freedom to drum. But what you don't have is the freedom not to hear what you don't want.
You don't. Where in the Constitution does it say that you have the freedom to drum? And where does it say? Here's the right. Here's the right. You have the right to freely express yourself until your expression encroaches on other people's freedom to express themselves.
How would the other person bring about that argument?
What channels are there to say that?
If they feel they're being outdrummed and outspoken, you would have to go to
there's legislator. No, you don't. You can go to legislature. You can
get. They couldn't get into the legislatures, even people on the same side.
And the issue wasn't even on that. No one raised that issue.
Who's having their freedom encroached upon when there were thousands of protesters in here drumming and chanting, and you couldn't even hear yourself think? Whose freedom of expression? Which Wisconsin citizen was having his freedom, his rights?
People were exercising their rights too loudly? Is that your main
Well,
argument?
that's part of it, isn't it? Yeah. But were they really exercising their rights? Were they?
Okay, so you said that our occupation was illegal.
Okay, you know what? That image, listen, you own that image. You guys are the protesters. You own that image.
You're clearly protesting
thousands.
As well.
I'm dissenting. That's true. And you know what? This is one of the first days in over 4 weeks that I could come here, stand right here, and have a back and forth conversation. Okay. Let's take 28 days out of the last month.
March 2nd, you could have. If you could have
March
gotten into the building.
2nd.
If you could have gotten into the building, you definitely could have held a reasonable leveled volume of conversation.
Not any day. Because what was the day that the Senate passed the bill?
That's true. You probably could have done it.
What day was that? Okay, so you
Wednesday.
failed. You failed that one, Arthur.
I fail a claim that I made. Okay, I step back. I say there's one day in the past 21 days.
No, it was more than one day because the occupation went on.
Nope, they left
the second occupation.
Nope, they were there for a night.
And they were back, and they were back, and they were back. Right. They were back, filling the building.
Because an illegal meeting was called.
I don't care because of what. I'm telling you, there was not one day.
So if there was not a single day between...
No, but there may have been a few days, but there was not just one day that the reoccupation led to my inability to exercise my freedom.
You're welcome to come in here.
I don't come in here. I don't come in. You know what? I don't come in here and drum. I don't come in here. I don't come in here and chant.
So you don't like drumming. You don't like chanting.
Well, you know what I don't like about it? I'll tell you what. It's very interesting that you wanted to pin me down on open-mindedness, because chanting and drumming are two of the most mindless activities. Absolutely mindless.
So
and you know what?
Rhythm.
No, rhythm's fine. Rhythm's fine. But you get this sort of militaristic chanting. But hey, ho, ho, Scott Walker has to go. Whose house? Our house. Our house. Whose house? Our house. You have a medical reason that you have to be on
Yes, I
them?
do.
Okay, all right. He told me that, and I didn't believe it, but okay, I accept that. It's mind control. It's Arthur. It's mind control. And if you look all around the world and through history, those are tactics that are used by cult leaders.
That are used on.
They're used by cults. They're also.
It's an adopted. You're looking around.
Oh, I don't care. No, what I'm saying is, I don't care if it's on both sides or a million sides. It's mindless, and it's not, and it's anti-open-mindedness. It's anti. Think about it.
No, I think that chants and slogans that people agree with catch on, and the chants that people try to start that people don't agree with.
People are out there driving around the square now, right now as we were speaking, honking their horns. Bam, 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 bam. Have you heard?
Sure.
You find it wonderful. You just find it wonderful and delightful, don't you? But how about the people who live on the square who don't find it delightful and wonderful?
There's only one residential building on the square.
No, there are condominiums all around the square.
Wisconsin Avenue, that's the only one that's directed on the square.
There are plenty within earshot. And so if that's the image, listen, Arthur, if that's the image that you adopt as a protester.
I've been trying to ask a question for a little while, and you've been sticking on this drumming and chanting thing. So you mentioned that the occupation was illegal.
It was.
So I was in here, the cops regularly asked me to do something on 4 or 5 occasions that I didn't think I needed to do on their orders because I didn't think they had the justification.
Did you do what they asked you to do?
No. Oh. They asked me to leave. And and there were several times that I did not.
Oh.
And I was never arrested.
Yeah. Well, that doesn't mean that you weren't breaking the law.
But I'm saying
it doesn't mean that they weren't breaking.
It doesn't mean that they weren't breaking. They knew that they couldn't arrest me because the grounds of which they were arresting would be outside of their jurisdiction. I think that I would have had a reasonable case, and so they knew that I wasn't breaking the law enough for them to be able to. You
know what? I agree with you. I think the police were in collusion. I think when the history is written of this Wisconsin protest, it's going to show.
So you think the state troopers are in collusion with?
Well, you know what? It wasn't the state. These are state troopers.
Right.
Okay.
They've been
and
here.
Capitol Police.
They were the
state troopers have been here the whole time.
They were the first people here besides the Capitol Police.
Okay, but as the protest went on, the state troopers spent most of their time. What? Yeah, they did.
Well, maybe overall man hour most of the time outside because they had 7 people outside for each door and only 5 people inside.
Those weren't troopers. Those were police officers from all over the state.
There as well, though.
There were a lot of people.
There may have been, but you know what? They were a small fraction of the law enforcement that was around the Capitol in the first 3 weeks.
But what does
of the
I wouldn't say small. They were a percent. I'd say they were significant.
According to the state troopers' numbers, there have been 85 state troopers here from the time that this started. Per day, at least 85 per day. From the time that this started until just about a week ago.
I don't know.
There were 85 state troopers per day. None of these other departments that were here even have 85 police officers.
No, but total. If you take all those departments from all the counties, all the sheriff departments.
No, they said 85 state troopers. That's what the State Trooper Association said. 85 state troopers from the State Patrol were here every single day.
What's the number of the other law enforcement personnel who were here who were not state troopers?
They were probably like.
You don't know? Do you know? Do you know?
No, during the
okay, probably. Okay, you don't know.
During the height.
Do you know?
No, I don't know, but I'm not making an assertion about the police.
I'm telling you that this is just an estimate. And so as long as I'm telling you it's an estimate, then I'm not stating it as fact when it's not. I'm saying it's an estimate. I'd estimate about.
Thank you for your time.
All right, Arthur. Lance, see ya. Have a good day. I didn't get your name.
Jeremy.
Jeremy? Thanks. See ya.